Access to abortion will be a major topic of debate in the forthcoming American election, but it's become a divisive subject for political leaders here too. Gatherings by anti-abortion campaigners close to clinics carrying out the procedure could soon be banned under a new law. Something similar is already in place in Bournemouth. Maria Zaccaro has spoken to a nurse there who's been frightened to go into work, and a young woman who says the campaigners' presence persuaded her to think again and to have her baby.
Emmy has been a nurse in Bournemouth for 5 years, left shaken after she started working at the town's abortion clinic.
Every time I got to work and there was a group of protesters, I was shocked.
She says most days she had to face anti-abortion campaigners to and from work.
I just couldn't believe it. I was dumbfounded.
The protest outside the clinic soon became personal.
The worst thing that happened for me was when I was chased to my car, being called a murderer, which no one goes to work to have that when they leave work. It ends up impacting how you feel when you get home, and I never wanted to feel stressed or worried.
She says she avoided leaving work on her own and constantly felt worried.
It all just became really normal, frightening, but really normal.
But Emmy says things changed when a buffer zone was introduced in 2022, banning protests and vigils.
There aren't groups of people outside the clinic every single day. It's just reduced that underlying tone of worry all of the time. Staff and women have felt the benefit of that. I enjoy leaving work and going home and not feeling harassed.
For others, the zones are a concern. Sarah, who we're not identifying, got pregnant 7 years ago. She was sofa surfing, had no money, and felt her only option was to have an abortion. The BBC was put in touch with her by anti-abortion group Christian Concern. Sarah says when she went to a clinic for an initial assessment, she was given a leaflet by anti-abortion campaigners. A few days later, she contacted them.
I decided to call them and said, look, I want to keep my baby. I want to come and see what help you can give me.
She says she was offered accommodation and financial support and decided to keep her baby.
Those women being there, they saved my daughter's life. If the buffer zone had been in place, I would have gone to the clinic on that day, and definitely I would have had an abortion. I would not have my daughter today, and she's my best friend.
Temporary buffer zones have been in place outside some clinics since 2018, after evidence protests left staff and clients in distress. A law to introduce the zones across England and Wales was passed last year. Once in place, demonstrations within 150 metres of a clinic would be banned. Christian Concern opposes the plans.
The implementation of buffer zones around the country is a step backwards in this country for freedom of movement, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom to pray. We can't criminalise the mere presence of people.
The British Pregnancy Advisory Service offers pregnancy options counselling, and it is the leading provider of abortion services in the UK. It says buffer zones have helped clients and staff.
Abortion in this country is legal. It's been legal for more than 50 years. And ultimately, nobody should be forced to run the gauntlet past protesters and people who disagree with their personal legal choices that they're making and have attention drawn to them and their medical confidentiality compromised in a way that we wouldn't possibly countenance in any other kind of healthcare.
The law was due to be introduced this spring, but the general election was called. The Home Office has now said it's committed to introducing buffer zones around abortion clinics as soon as possible. It added, protecting women's rights is a priority for this government, and it is vital anyone exercising their legal right to access abortion services are free from harassment and intimidation. Sarah remains concerned about the law.
I was lucky I had those women on that day to give me what I need. And then now, if anyone will go there and they don't have this, another option, it's just bad.
Emmy hopes for change.
It is a global problem. And at least if we can come some way with having buffer zones around all abortion and sexual health clinics, then I'd be pleased.